Hey everyone, this is Coach Mark. I hope you guys are doing great today. Today, the video that I'm going to do is called How to Create the Life That You Want using Evernote. Now, Evernote is a absolutely wonderful app that I got put onto maybe about 3 years ago. A buddy of mine shared with me this video that he found on YouTube, and you can actually go back and look at that original video. It's by a guy named Evernote Scott. And basically, the title of if you do a search on YouTube for Evernote Scott and how to use Evernote to create your goals, that's the basis of the video that I'm going to create today. So I watched his video. Actually, I think I watched another video that he had, or you can watch any video on there, just the general operating principles of Evernote, how to use Evernote and whatnot. Because it's not something that you're going to just jump right in. It's not difficult to learn, but you still probably want to kind of get an idea as to how to utilize the app and some of the features that are included in the app. So I watched that video first. It might have been like 10 minutes or so. Then I watched the video on how he uses Evernote to create his goals or to go over his goals every day and whatnot. So from there, I'd used his system for a little while, and then I kind of modified my own system, And this is the thing. At the end of the day, that's exactly what I want you guys to do. Look at the video that I've created. Look at the different categories that I've had. Use the ones that work for you. I'd probably say start off by using all of them first, and then you will see which ones work well with you, and then which ones don't. Which ones you would rather create your own. So it's all up to you, because remember, this is for you. This is to help you create the life that you want, not necessarily the life that I want for you. All right. So if you haven't downloaded, the great thing about Evernote is that you can use it with your computer. You can use it with your cell phone. Doesn't really matter. You can actually use it for both. So what I'm going to 99% of the time, I'm using Evernote with my cell phone. You can go to the App Store, and I'm sure that they have it in the Google Play Store as well. Download the app. It's free to use. There is a paid version that costs $5 per month that has a few more features. Because I use Evernote so much, I have the paid version where it costs me $5 a month. But just to get started, I would probably suggest just to use the free version. Then you can see, you'll see if you like it or not, first and foremost. And then if you like it, you'll look at the additional features that come with the paid version, and you can make a determination as to whether or not that's right for you. So let me go ahead and open up Evernote. This is it right here. It's like the green elephant. All right. So this is my Evernote account. I've been using it for 3 years. I have, and you're probably not going to understand all this, but I have like notebooks. Basically, I use it for everything. I say every time that I read a book, I will create a notebook for it, and then inside each notebook, you can have you'll have different notes. So you can have one note, two notes. I mean, as many notes as you want. Let me try to find something. Or anytime I have a concept that I'm studying, you know, um, I'll have, look at all these different notes that's in one notebook. So that's the great thing about Evernote. The way that it's set up is that you have notebooks, and then you have actual notes inside the notebook, right? So there's some books that I may have where I have each chapter is just one note, and I'll take the notes. I'll create the notebook for it. Let's see. This one I probably have all the notes on just one page. But there's some in here that I have where I might have different notes, and mostly I might just have them all on one. But some I know that I had some. Let's see. I may have different notes for each chapter or whatever. You can set it up however whatever is going to be the best way for you. But I have like probably over 180 different notebooks, and then in each notebook, who's to say however many different notes is in each one. So that's how it's set up. It starts off as everything you create is a notebook, and then inside that notebook you have different notes and whatnot. So mine looks a little confusing, so I'm going to sign out of my main account, and then I'm going to sign into an account that I just created, just so you can get an idea as to what it looks like when you're just starting. Okay, so this is a fresh, brand new. As you can see here, it's free. Then you have Evernote Plus, and then you have Evernote Premium. So these are all the different features of each one. Um, the basic one, Evernote Plus, Evernote Premium. I'm not here to promote Evernote for you to buy their uh, product or whatever. You just, if it works for you, if it makes sense for you, then you can go ahead and do it. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so this is probably what it's going to look like when you first get started. I had actually just made this test one, but so let's go ahead. We're going to click on notebooks. We're going to create a new notebook. Um, what I call mine is the notebook that I have, where I have all, where I'm creating my life on a daily basis, is called My Rituals. So you can use whatever title makes sense for you. And I spell rituals Richuals, and I have 2016 because I have one for 2015 and 2014. I've been using it for about 3 years now. So I'm gonna call mine My Rituals. You can call it your goals, you call it your life, you call it whatever you want. All right. But it's good to add the year on there so you can go back a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, and kind of track your progress, see where you were at a few years ago and how good you're coming along. All right. So you first create the notebook, right? So you click on add new notebook, and then here it is. I created a notebook. So I'm going to go inside it. Now I want to create a note. Okay, let's see if it'll help me to create notes. Add new note in My Rituals 2016. Okay, so you're going to create a note. So the first note that I would suggest to create. And once again, you can call it whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to share with you what I call mine and how I set mine up. And then from there, after you've done it for a little while, you figure out what works best for you. So my first note, and this is the first note that I go to every single morning when I open up my Evernote, is called I'm grateful for. And essentially, what I do is I write down 5 things every single day that I am grateful for. I mean, wonderful way to start the day off by giving thanks, being grateful for what you have. You guys already know you want more in life. You need to be grateful for the things that you already have. So I start my day off every single day like this. So what I'll do is I'll write today is 7/17/2016. And I'll just write 5 things that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for peace. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my sons. That's my family as well, but I just want to be grateful for them as well. And I'm grateful for good health. That's it. Now, if you want to do more, you can do more. I think 5 is a really good number. Um, But to me, I can't think of any other better way to start the day off by starting it off and being grateful for at least 5 things, right? And then what you're gonna do is, so tomorrow when you open it up, you just slide that down, and then you're gonna do 7/18/2016, and then you write 5 more things that you're grateful for. Your home, your car. I mean, I'm just making up stuff now. Um, Knowledge, great friends, and world peace. Even though most people think we don't have world peace right now, but sometimes you got to be grateful for things to be able to bring them into existence, right? Okay, so that's the first note that I do. All right, so let's create. So you're gonna keep going, so on. So the day after, you do 7/19, and then write 5 more things you're grateful for. All right. So every single day you're just gonna go up above it, write that date down, and start your day off with 5 things that you're absolutely grateful for. It'll help you to put you in a really great mood. This is a really powerful technique that I've been using for the last 3 or 4 years, and I can't tell you the difference that it's made in my life. All right. So let's go. We're gonna create a new note. So that's your first note. New note. Next one I do. It's called. I call it Hello Today. And essentially, what I do, same. I start off with the date, so 7/17/16. And the way this one works, it's essentially a journal that I write in the morning, a journal entry that I write in the morning, but essentially it's from the perspective at the end of the day. So what I would do is write. You're gonna write it in the morning, and you write exactly how it is that you want your day to go along. Now I know it may sound silly to some people or whatnot, but I can't tell you um, how well this works. Essentially, what you're doing is you're predicting your day. You know, so when you write down exactly how it is, you're feeding your mind with exactly how you want your day to go. What you're essentially doing, and this principle has been around for some while, but I've been doing a lot of studying of neuroscience and neuroplasticity and whatnot, and how the brain works. And essentially, what you're doing by doing this is you are feeding your brain with exactly how you want it to work, so your brain finds situations for you to make your day work exactly that way. It sounds really, it may sound silly to some people, but I can't tell you. I'd probably say 85 to 90% of the time, my day ends up going exactly how I predicted that it was going to go, exactly how I wrote that it was going to go. So let me give you an example of what I would do. I would say something like, today was a wonderful day. I met some really great people that are going to assist me in my business. Um, what else? Um, let me see. I closed the big account that I have been working on for the last 4 months. I had an amazing conversation with my son. I love to talk with him on the phone because I learn so much from him. I had a great dinner with some friends. And the key to this, and this is something that I personally need to get a little bit better at as well, is being as specific as possible. I think sometimes we don't want to be specific because then we feel that if it doesn't happen the way that we said, um, you know, it makes us feel bad or whatever. But we just have to trust in the process, and if it doesn't happen the way that you exactly how you wanted it to, you have to really trust and believe that it happened the best way that it needed to happen. So maybe sometimes everything, that's why I said that it doesn't happen 100% of the time, but 85% of the time, the way that I predict the day as to going, it generally happens like that. Um, and you write whatever you want, write it however you want, as long as you want. Um, and I might just call that, I am really thankful for this awesome day. I just felt really good all day. And that's it. And then you're going to do the same thing tomorrow. So you're going to write your day from the beginning. And like I said, I think that the power in this particular tool is that you're telling your brain exactly how the day should go. So what's going to happen is your brain is going to find instances or situations to make the day go exactly the way that you want it to go. Absolutely amazing technique. So tomorrow, 7/18, and you would go all over again tomorrow. You're not gonna copy. You just write down however you expect tomorrow to go, you know? So you're going to write it down from the perspective like it's the end of the day, but it's actually the beginning of the day. All right? Let's see. The next one that I do, I actually just started doing this one. It's called, so we're going to create a new notebook. It's called an attitude of, no, actually, it is called Top 12 Positive Attitudes. Now, I got this one from a book that I'm reading on neuroplasticity from an author named Shad Helmstetter. He came out with a book back in the 80s that was a bestseller called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. It's a self talk book. I mean, it's a not a self. It's a self help book, but it's a book on self talk, and Shad Helmstetter is probably one of the foremost authorities on self talk. And I just read this in his book, and he has 12 attitudes that we should take on, that we should look to practice and take on every single day, because the attitude that you start the day with is essentially how your day is going to go, you know. So what you want to do is, a lot of times, we just end up, have you ever noticed how, if you woke up and let's say you said, man, today's going to be a bad day, what essentially end up happening? It ended up being a bad day, you know? So what we're going to do is we're going to set the intention from the beginning of the day to make sure that we have a really great day. So in here, he goes in and he gives these top 12 attitudes that we should have every day. So I copied them down. And if you want to find them, the book, it's a book on neuroplasticity or neuroscience by Shad Helmstetter. I don't remember the exact name of the book. Let me see if I can find it for you real quick. I know you guys want to see it. Actually, I'm reading the book right now, about 75. It's called The Power of Neuroplasticity. That's what the name of the book is. The Power of Neuroplasticity, and it's by Shad Helmstetter. Okay, so the first one is an attitude of optimism. All right. And then the affirmation for that is, I am up, positive, optimistic, and going for it. And that's it. And, like I said, if you want to change it, you can go ahead and change it. You can write whatever it is that you want to write. All right. Number two, I'm not going to go through all, I'll read all 12 of them. I'm not going to type all 12 of them just for the sake of time. And I'm not a super fast typer. All right. Is an attitude of peace and serenity. Like I said, I just added this one to my notebook, and I'll read from here on out. I choose to live a life of peace and serenity. Right now, this moment, I choose to be calm and serene, and I feel the quiet contentment of peace and well being within me. Number three is an attitude of kindness and harmony. And that one, the affirmation for that is, I care about others, and today I choose to express kindness and harmony in my life. Number four is an attitude of determination and focus. And that the affirmation for that is, I am determined to reach my goal. I focus on my goal, I work at it, and I make it happen. Number five, an attitude of intuition and awareness. And the affirmation for that is, today I choose to be clear and sharp and tuned into everything within me and around me. I am in touch with my intuition and my feelings, and I listen to the messages they give me. Number 6 is an attitude of spiritual well being. And the affirmation for that is I choose to fill my life with unlimited spirit and I feel its uplifting energy in everything I think and do. Number 7 is an attitude of service to others. And the affirmation for that is I choose to live my life each day mindful of my service to others. I know that my value as a person is measured by the good I am able to do. Number 8 is an attitude of thankfulness. And the affirmation for that is today I choose to be thankful for all the good in my life. I am so fortunate to live the life I live, and right now is a good time to say thank you. Number 9 is an attitude of forgiveness. And the affirmation for that is I choose to forgive all others and also myself. No matter what, I choose to forgive and move on with my life. Number 10 is an attitude of healthiness. And the affirmation for that is I choose to live my life today and every day in a healthy, positive way, physically, mentally, and spiritually. I choose to be healthy. Number 11 is an attitude of patience. And the affirmation for that is I choose to create calm, quiet patience in my life each day. When I do, I also remove stress and add to my well being and peace of mind. And number 12, the final one, is an attitude of success. And the affirmation for that is I choose to succeed in my life in every way. I was born to be successful, and that's how I choose to be. So just realize and know that you choose your attitude, right? And if you don't choose one, then one will probably be chosen for you, and that may not be the one that you want or that's going to help you to feel the best all day long. So make sure you choose wisely. So I would suggest to go back through. I didn't write all of them out, but you go back through and you can dictate it. You can slow this video down and dictate it and write all of these out and read over. Go over these every single day. All right. The next one is I have labeled is affirmations, right? And essentially, and Shad Helmstetter talked about this a lot in the book, and I highly suggest that even if you don't want to get into the book about neuroplasticity because that's a kind of detailed subject, right? To say the least. Definitely get his book, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself, because he talks a lot about not affirmations, but just self talk, right? What it is that we say to ourselves. A lot of us don't even realize that we are having some sort of a dialogue with ourselves every single day. And most of the time, generally, it's negative things, right? So we want to make sure that we change that dialogue, we change that conversation that we're having with ourselves and making sure that we are saying positive things to ourselves every single day. Just imagine this now. If you give yourself, if you say something to yourself once every minute throughout the course of a day, you would have said, and more than likely, you probably say more than one thing every single minute to yourself. But through the course of the day, you're giving yourself over 1,000 messages. I mean, and stuff like, man, I can't do that. Um, I'm not good at that. That's not for me. That's not my strong suit. I'm a procrastinator. Man, I'm just really lazy. Man, I really stink at that. All these things that we're saying, we don't really even sometimes consciously realize that we're talking to ourselves like that. But what we are, we're doing that all day, every day. So, multiply, the course of a day, 1,000. That's only if you're giving yourself one message every minute, which a lot of times we're giving ourselves more than that, times however many days, times however many years. So, if you say 1,000 a day, and 365 days, that's at minimum 1,000 a day, right? At 365, that's 365,000 every single year. And I want you to just take note of of the things that you're probably saying. Are you saying that you're a champion, that you can win, that you can succeed? Probably not. Probably it's like, man, I'm not good at that. Man, that's not my strong suit. Man, I wish I would have did better. You're saying all kinds of negative things to yourself. So we need to go ahead and change first notice that dialogue that we're having with ourselves, then go ahead and change it, and then start flooding our minds with positive stuff. So that's what these affirmations are that you want to go ahead and write down. Let me go ahead and create the note for that. All All right. And then you go ahead and just write down your affirmations, and things that you just go ahead and repeat to yourself. You want to say, you can call it affirmations, you can call it your self-talk, whatever it is, So I'll read off a couple of mine. I'll write out a couple of mine, and then you can, figure out which ones work for you and write those out yourself. If you have not downloaded my book, I have a bunch of affirmations in there. You can download it for free at www.repeataftermebook.com. The book is essentially about affirmations, but here's the ones that I use here. So, I am healthy. It doesn't matter how you really are. You want and let me tell you another key, right? With this, before I even continue. You're gonna write these down. You're gonna write down exactly what it is that you choose to be, right? That you desire to be. Not necessarily where you're at right now. Because so you're saying, well, why am I gonna say I'm healthy every day and I'm not healthy? Because that's exactly where it is that you choose to be. And you're gonna say it, and in the beginning, you're gonna feel a little funny about saying it. You're gonna be like, am I lying to myself? Am I trying to lie to myself or whatever? But I can guarantee you this. If you keep saying this and feeding your mind with these positive affirmations, this positive self-talk every single day, you will slowly you will start to see how your life will change, and you will become whatever it is that you're saying. Right? So in the beginning, it's gonna feel a little funny. You're gonna feel like you're lying to yourself. You're not gonna want to do it. You're gonna get little butterflies every time, because I remember, I'd probably say 90% of my affirmations I really had believed to be true when I first started doing these. But there were a few on there that, I questioned about myself. And I was like, I don't really want to um, lie to myself. I don't think that that's going to be beneficial, but I just went ahead and did it. And then it came to pass where, now it's just like everything that I've said about myself, it is true, and I completely believe it to be true 100%. And it has manifested in my life as true. So like I said, don't worry if you feel funny about saying these in the beginning. Just go ahead and do it. I am wealthy. I am a I am in a wonderful, loving relationship. I mean, like I said, some of you are going to look at this and say, like, man, I'm not in a relationship. Why am I writing down? Or I am in a relationship, but it's not wonderful and it's not loving. Trust me, just write it down and continue to say it. I am a wonderful father to two wonderful sons. I am a successful real estate investor. Now these are mine. You got to write down the ones that make sense to you. I am a great source of inspiration to everyone I come in contact with. All right. I have more than that. I'll read the rest of mine off, and like I said, they're personal to me. So you have to make sure that you make yours personal to you. I'm an internationally successful author and speaker. And let me kind of give you even a little history. When I wrote this one down, I wasn't even a good speaker at all, right? I wasn't, and I definitely wasn't international. I wasn't even speaking here in the United States, and that was 3 years ago. I just completed my first international speech. I spoke to a group of entrepreneurs in Jamaica about 2 weeks ago. So, like I said, you start off, and then when I was doing this, I was a garbage speaker. I mean, I really wasn't a good speaker at all, And I'm not saying that I'm super great now or anything like that, but I definitely, when I would read this to myself every single day, it was like, man, in the beginning, I was like, man, you're not an international speaker. You're not even speaking in your own town. And here it is now. I just did my first international speaking. I have another one lined up for South Africa in another 2 months or so. So go ahead and write it down. I don't care whether or not you think that's what you are or you aren't right now, whatever, go ahead and write it down if it's where you want to be and just continue saying it to yourself every day. So let me continue with mine. I am super lucky. Great things always happen to me. I attract nothing but love in my life. I get along and I'm respected by everyone I come in contact with. My businesses are doing exceedingly well. Attractive women are not only attracted to me, but they admire me and they would like to be with me. I am wise and intelligent. I'm a well respected leader. I'm flooded with great opportunities every day in my life. I'm able to travel the world at my leisure. I live in several different houses in several different countries all over the world. I am the owner of some of the fastest, most exotic, and phenomenal cars ever built. I wake up and feel great every day. I attract love into my life. I live an abundantly wealthy and happy life. I'm blessed to be a blessing to so many people. I have nothing but love for every person and situation that I encounter in my life. I'm a great example and role model to everyone that comes into my life. I own one of the largest self help publishing companies in the world. When I created these affirmations, you know, I probably only felt positive about maybe around 20 or 30% of them. Now, to be honest with you, at least 80 to 90% of them have come to pass. And I know that the rest of them are coming to pass. All right. So, very important. Let's go on to the next one. 5 year goals. So, we're going to create a new notebook. It's called 5 year goals. Okay. So, the first question that you're going to ask yourself is, what will my life look like when all of my goals to that point are accomplished in 5 years? And then you write it down. All right. The next question, in 5 years, and you write down exactly what you'll be doing in 5 years. The next question is, who am I with? So obviously, the next question would be, who am I not with? Equally important question. Some of us definitely need to get certain people out of our lives. If you're not married yet and you want to be married, you may put on here, I'm with my spouse. Even though you don't have a spouse right now, you still put that down. I'm with the person of my dreams. I'm with my children. I'm with whoever. Who are you not with? You know that there's some people in your life that you need to get out of your life, and you're going to put that down there. What am I doing? What exactly are you doing? Like, what is your career? What is your profession? Are you just sitting on the beach all day? I mean, what is it that you're doing? How much am I earning? Right? Be very clear about it. You'll never ever get a goal if you don't at least first write it down. And by coming up with a goal and writing it down, now you're setting things in motion to make it happen. If you don't write it down, if you don't even think about whatever it is that you want to accomplish, it'll never ever happen. So it's very, very important. What level am I at in my profession? What kind of home do I live in? Be very specific. Don't say a nice house. Be very specific. So let me kind of give you an idea of what I put down for some of these. What am I doing? I have speaking, writing books, traveling, and enjoying life. How well am I doing it? I'm at a world class level. I'm one of the top transformational and inspirational speakers and best selling authors in the world. How much am I earning? I put $50,000 an hour for speaking domestically, that's in the United States, and $100,000 an hour internationally, and I'm making over $1 million a month. Very specific. Make sure that you're very specific about what you write down. Don't just say, I'm making a lot of money, right? You want to be specific because a lot of money could be what, $20 an hour or $1,000 an hour. Be specific as to exactly what it is that you want. What level am I at in my profession? And I put at the very top, I'm a super in demand transformational speaker and worldwide best-selling author. Now, I created these 3 years ago, so some of my goals have changed and whatnot, but I still read over them every single day. Okay, what kind of home do I live in? Oh, I have that there. For mine, I was very specific. I have an 8 to 10,000 square foot mansion on the water and with a very nice pool. This home has 3 levels, and the bottom level has a basement and is my man cave. I also have homes in at least one other city in the United States and at least 2 other cities internationally on or very near the beach. Very specific. What kind of car am I driving? Don't just say a nice car. Put specifically what you want. I'm a huge car person, so I put about 6 or 7 different cars in here. I talk about I traded in my Porsche 911 for a newer version, and I have a Lamborghini Huracan and a bunch of other cars. Right? What is the level of my physical fitness? Does it make sense to acquire all these things in life and we're not healthy? Right? What is the level of my physical fitness and health? Don't feel that you have to answer all of these all at one point in time. Go ahead and just at least get started. What do my family relationships look like? When I wrote this down, I wrote down exactly what I wanted to be in 5 years. And it's crazy because when I actually did this, I didn't have a great relationship with a very, 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 very important person to me in my family. But I still wrote down exactly how I wanted it to be. And, it's amazing that that relationship has completely healed itself. And I do have the great relationship that I wrote about. That's why it's so important. People, you know, if people only understood the power of writing down and setting your goals, trust me, they would do it. And what's the difference between a goal and a wish? The difference between a goal and a wish is that a goal you actually write down and then you set a plan and it has a deadline. So that's essentially what we're doing here. What do my family? And then how are my children doing? If you have children. All right, so that's your 5 year goal note. Okay, so make sure you write all those out. I'll go through this slow. All right, pause the video if you need to. All right, let's go on to the next note. Next note, I just have my 2016 goals. Actually, I have my goals posted in my dining room where I do most of my work, my office. And so what I did was I just took a picture of it because I have it on these big, huge post-it notes. And then I go ahead and I just took a picture of it and I just imported the picture in. So I'm not gonna write out what my 2016 goals are, but what you would do is go ahead and write them out. And once again, be very specific with your goals. And remember, the difference between a goal and a wish is that a goal has a plan and a goal has a deadline, and you write goals down. If not, you can sit here and say you want to be a millionaire, but if you don't set a plan and you don't set a deadline, then it's just a wish. All right, you have the same, you might as well go play the lottery. Next, I have my vision board. All right. So what you do is what I do. You can import, you can drag pictures in here. One of the things that you can do is go to Google Images. So let's say For me, okay, so I want to put pictures of some mansions. What I'll do is I'll search for mansions and I click on images. Let's see, I find a couple that I like. So you saw what we did. We went to Google, then we typed in mansions and images. I'm gonna click on searches and make sure I find the large images. Oh, I like this one here. Click on view image, save it. Let's see, which other ones? This looks really cool. What you guys think? Oh, that looks really nice. All right. I got some pictures of some mansions. Let's see what else I like. I really want a Lamborghini Huracan. Let's see what we have here. Maybe this spider. I'm going to save that. Okay, Rolls Royce Wraith. Can't you guys see me in this white one right here? Don't you think I'd look good in this? I know you do. Okay. And then let's see the beach. Put beach house. Get a little bit more specific. Mm. Oh, isn't this view amazing? Can you imagine waking up every single day and you just get coming out your bed and you just go on your patio and that's your view? I can. I'm gonna make it happen. Let's see. Oh, what about this? Can you imagine that? That's your bedroom and you just get up and look out? Okay. Then of course, your pictures of your family and stuff won't be on Google Images, so you just import those in. Um, you can put whatever you want, you know. Oh, hold on. We need to have some of this to be able to make all this happen, right? Okay, so now we got a few images. So what we're going to do is drag the images, and you can do this on your phone. Although I'm doing this on the computer, you can do it on the phone as well. So, so this is your vision board. Easy peasy, right? Some people want to cut out pictures and make it a whole hard process. It doesn't have to be a hard process, right? You can put as many pictures as you want. You want to feed your subconscious mind with all these pictures, right? And look at them every single day and not just look at them. The key to this whole thing is that you just don't want to look at the pictures every day and say, oh, that's something nice to look at. You want to visualize, you want to look at these pictures, feel the emotions, feel what it would feel like. Like, what would it feel like if you were here laying on this chair looking out? Just imagine the wind beating against your face and you're hearing the seagulls and you want to feel the emotions. You want to pretend as if you are right there. That's called mental imagery or visualization. We use this technique with the athletes that I train and whatnot. But you want to make sure that you not only just look at the image and say, wow, that's a nice image, but you want to actually put yourself right there. And what you're doing is that what most people don't realize is that the mind does not realize, the brain doesn't realize between something that you imagine and something that's actually happening in real time. That's why you can have a nightmare, right? And someone could be chasing you in a nightmare, and someone's trying to kill you, and you wake up and you're actually sweating and your heart is beating fast and all that. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what you're imagining and what's actually happening in real life. So what you're doing is when you're looking at these images, right, you're telling your brain that this is the life that you want to live. So what it's going to do is it's going to create ways for you to be able to live that life. That's why this is so very, very important, right? And you're not only to just look at it, but you're it's supposed to take on, imagine the feelings. Use all of use as many of your senses as possible, right? So you want to use your sight. You want to use the sound. That's why I said, like, hear the seagulls, or for me, like, hearing this Lamborghini, and the feeling, right? The touch, the feeling. So the wind blowing across my face as I'm driving through the countryside in my Lamborghini, or if I'm on the beach, the feeling the wind against my face, or hearing. I'm in my house and I'm blasting my music, and I have no neighbors, so I can play it as loud as I want. I'm hearing the sounds and whatnot. Touch. I mean, not touch, but even taste. Smell and taste. If you're on the beach, you're smelling the salt water, right? You're smelling the salt water. As far as taste, on my vision board that I have on my Evernote, I have this food that I like to eat. This my favorite restaurant in Las Vegas is called Delmonico's, and I have pictures of the food of that I've eaten when I've went there. I love Delmonico's, and there's another restaurant in Caesars called Bacchanalia. It's the best buffet in the world. Those are two restaurants you have to go to if you ever go to Las Vegas. And I got pictures that I've taken up there, and I look at these pictures, so that's a part of my vision board. So it's very easy to create a vision board. You can do it any point in time. Another one I have is called, another note that I have is called mindsets slash quotes. And this is just to help keep you in the right mindset every single day. I'm a big quote person. For those of you, maybe you might put Bible verses if that's what you want to put in there. I have a lot of quotes in mine. Environment is stronger than willpower, Bucky Fuller. And this is just to keep your mind in the right. Minister Fuller. Keep your mind focused on the right things every single day. To me, there's so much wisdom in quotes. That's why I love quotes so much. And it's a this gives me an opportunity to remind myself of these particular wisdoms. I mean, this I have probably about 100 that I'd probably say about 50 or so that I have read that I read over every day. Another one is life gets better when you get better. And that's from me. That's my quote, right? Um, I mean, there's so many. I have so many on here. So you pick the ones that speak to you. Like I said, you can use whatever you want. You want to use Bible verses or verses from whatever religious text that you read. That's cool. This is yours. So you create it the way that you want. I mean, like I said, I have about 40 or 50 on it. Here's another one that I have. When you patiently believe in that which doesn't exist, you create it. That's exactly what we're doing right here. And that's from Nikos Kazantzakis. All right. If you want things in your life to change, you're going to have to change things in your life. To know and not to do is not to know. That's Leo Biscaglia. I read over these every single day. It just reminds me of this wisdom every single day. Okay. Let's see. What else do I have on here? My vision board. I have my 2016 top priorities. I guess that's probably similar to goals, but What are my priorities? What do I want to make sure that I accomplish in 2016? You know, for me, I have live speaking events. I have a certain amount of live speaking events that I want to that I want to make sure that I do. And then I might say, get specific with it. I want to do 50 live events. Number two, um, I need to set up my Coach Mark's website. Once again, got to get specific by October 2016. Get that deadline on there. I want to read 100 books this year and buy 365 books, which I think I'm on pace. I probably read about 40 or 50 books this year so far, if not more. Right? So, write down your top priorities. That way, you're always clear about what it is that you're trying to accomplish. You're always clear about what it is that you're trying to do. Even if you have a bad day or so and you get off track, if you're in the habit of reading over first thing in the morning, going over all these different notes, you're never ever lost. So you may have a bad day, something might happen, takes you out of your zone, and you have a bad day. But guess what? Once you develop the habit of going over these every single day, it doesn't stay there for long. I know so many people that start off on a good note, something happens, it throws them off, and then now they're just in a whirlwind. And then 6 months passes by, they haven't moved any closer towards any of their goals or doing anything that they have tried to accomplish. And then now they're looking crazy. Then they're like, oh man, 6 months later, they're like, oh man, I forgot that I even set some goals, right? Because they're trying to keep it to memory. That's why it's so important to make sure that you write it down and go over it. Not just write it down, but go over it every single day. So you have a bad day, okay? Something happens, whatever, someone upsets you, but then you're in the habit of going over these every single morning before you start your day. Then you're always, oh, you know what? Yeah, someone so upset me, but guess what? These are my priorities. This is what I need to get done. So it puts you right back in the zone that you absolutely need to be in. Let's see, what else do I have in mind? Um, Here's one that I put, just so I'm always very clear about what it is that I want. I'm not married, so I have, qualities that I am looking for in a woman. Now I'm not, like I said, you're going to come up with all kinds of ideas for notes and whatnot that you're going to put in there. So you make it cater towards you. This is one that I wanted to put. I saw one of the authors that I read had something similar to this, and I said, you know what, that's a really good idea, because I think a lot of us, especially those that are single, and not even, it doesn't even necessarily have to be for a marriage relationship, but just in people that you deal with, we end up just getting all kinds of a big hodgepodge of people in our lives because we allow anyone in. So sometimes we need to go ahead and be clear about exactly what it is that we're looking for from the people, whether it be in a romantic partner, or maybe it's even in business partners. And you write down exactly the qualities that you're looking for. And if you read over them every single day, you'll never ever become twisted as to what it is that you want. Because sometimes we may meet someone, and because of how we're feeling at that point in time, or maybe because of how attractive they are, we get caught up into this person, and then we realize, after a few months, like, hey, you know what, this person doesn't really have the qualities that I was looking for. I just, was feeling bad at the time I met them, or maybe they were just so attractive, and then now you're involved in a relationship with someone that does not have the qualities that you want. Or maybe it's even a business partner. Maybe the person just came to you with a great idea, and you decided to work with them, but you weren't clear, because you weren't clear on the type of person that you want to work with. And just remember this, right? The best, you can meet someone that has the best business idea in the world, but if they're not the right person, if they're not a good person, a good match for you, the idea will never ever work. Or even if it works, it's going to end up being problems in the long run. So it's very, very important to make sure that you're working, you're with the right person, whether it be a romantic relationship or a business relationship. So I write down, I have about 10 or 12 different qualities that I'm looking for in anyone that I deal with, whether it be a business relationship or a romantic relationship. And I read over these every day, so I'm never ever confused about what it is that I'm looking for, what it is that I want. Okay. Now I know some of y'all ladies will probably have about 100 things on here or whatever. You don't want to be, to where you eliminate 99.99999999999% of the population or whatever. But you do want to make sure that you have someone. So let's say it's, you want to make sure that you have someone that has some of the same ideas as you. If you feel that that's going to prevent you guys from having a good relationship, and that, let's say, someone that has a different religion than you, it's just totally not going to work, then you need to write that down on here. And don't ever get twisted on that. I don't know, certain things will work for certain people and certain things won't, but you know what will work for you, and you make sure that you write them down and you go over those every single day. And I think that's pretty much all the ones that I have on here. For me, I also have another note where I have my books, and what I do is I keep track of physical books that I read. I keep track of and I write down the books that I read. I read so much. I read about 4 or 5 hours, or I take in new information for about 4 or 5 hours every day. So sometimes I go through so much info. I want to be able to recall all the, the different. And, sometimes you might have read a book and you're like, man, it's something great that I got from that book, and I can't remember the name of that book. And you're able to go back and look at it. I write down videos that I watch. A lot of times we learn a lot from these videos on YouTube. My number system's getting a little janky here. Right. So you guys get the point. Um, I put down live events or live trainings. What else? Anything that I've learned from, I put in this category. So it could be live events. It can be audio courses that I've taken. Video courses, webinars. It's always good to to have an idea of all the different resources that you've come across from the year. You know, and last but not least, and this one is very, very, very important, is I have one called 101. I got 101 plus humongous goals. And in this one right here, what you're going to do is you're going to write down just 101 things that if there was no limitations in life, 101 things that you would, it's kind of almost like your bucket list. 101 things that you would like to do before you died. I got this one from reading about Lou Holtz. Those of you that are football fans knows that Lou Holtz was the coach of Notre Dame. Well, What a lot of people don't know is that Lou Holtz, back in the, I believe it was the '60s or the '70s, he was an assistant coach at South Carolina. He ended up getting fired because they brought in a new coach, so they fired all the assistant coaches. So he was at home. He had two kids. His wife was about to have their third kid. He had no job. He was at home, just sad, depressed, sulking. And his wife saw this book at the grocery store called The Magic of Thinking Big by, I believe it's David Schwartz. I have the book, but I think it's David Schwartz, Magic of Thinking Big. And a lot of other great successful people have attributed this book to their success as well. Anyway, she bought this for him, and then one of the exercises in the book was that he go in and write down 101 goals, no limits. It doesn't matter, I mean, your goal could be to go to Jupiter. Don't limit yourself. Just write down whatever it is. Meet the president. Buy a mansion, make $1 million, make $1 billion. It doesn't matter what it is, but write down these goals, because if you don't come up with them and write them down, they definitely will never ever happen. It's not going to hurt you to sit there and to write them down. Well, Lou Holtz went ahead and did that. Matter of fact, I think he ended up having like 108 or something like that, a little bit over 100. That's why I put 101 plus humongous goals. And, to last date, he had accomplished um, probably more than 95% of the goals that he set out to accomplish. Now, it's easy to think that, well, that's Lou Holtz. He's this great football coach. But at the time, that wasn't the great Lou Holtz. That was Lou Holtz that was sitting home, that didn't have a job, that was depressed, that was about to have another kid, that didn't have any income coming in. And, some of his goals were that he wanted to meet the president of the United States. He wanted to become coach of Notre Dame. He wanted to win a national championship. He had all these goals, and he accomplished probably like over 90, 95% of the goals that he set out. Why? Because he actually wrote them down, right? That's the first step. If you don't write them down, then you're definitely not going to accomplish. You're just not going to run into your goals, right? You got to sit there, write them down, come up with a plan, and come up with a deadline. So that's very, very, very important. I think I have, let me see, I have 127, and don't try to do this all at one time. Let it be a running list, start off 5, 10, 20, however many, and then just kind of go from there and let it continue to build up. For me, some of the stuff I have is, I have material stuff on here like buy a yacht, have a net worth of $100 million by 2019, sell 1 million books for my publishing company. I have stuff like, eat specific things. Like I have eat, shark, and bake. Those of you that are familiar, been to Trinidad, you know what shark and bake is. By 2015, that I accomplished that last year when I went to Trinidad. Visit Japan, visit Australia, visit Italy, visit France. Buy a huge 8,000 square foot mansion with 3 swimming pools on at least 3 acres. Speak in front of 10,000 people, own a very successful business with my son Marcus by 2019. Buy a white 20. I did this about 2 or 3 years ago. And I put buy a white or yellow 2014 Porsche 911, which I accomplished that. Own a private jet. Visit at least 3 cities in China. So it doesn't matter what it is. Just write it down. Write it down. Make sure that you write down a date for it. That you want to accomplish it by. This one is very, very, very important. All right. So that's the different notebooks that we have. Go back and read over this video, go over them. And the key is that you want to get yourself in a habit of doing, once you go ahead and fill this out, take a few days to fill it out. Some people might be able to knock it out in a day. It might take you a little bit longer, but go ahead and do that and go over these every single day. Read over them every single day. I don't care what happens. Go over. Once you have it all filled out, read over it every single day. Every single day. You got to be consistent with this every single day. All right. Thank you much. I know this video was a little long, but I had a lot of stuff to go over, and I hope you guys got a lot of value from it. Thank you much, and I'll see you soon.